I'm Shibbalakshmi. I'll be showing the first milestone of our project. Our project is about creating a performance evaluation tool for the high school students. My team is Infinity Students comprising of Shimli, Yashwant and Amrita and myself. I will be presenting on behalf of my team. As we know, the student's academic success depends on various factors such as how regular they are in the class, how interested they are in the subjects being taught at school, and whether the student is leading a healthy lifestyle or not. So, our tool aims to track these things. It will provide trackers for tracking the attendance, lifestyle, and performance of a student. It will also provide an online questionnaire for the students to identify the subjects in which they are good at. It will also help the students to evaluate themselves by depicting their strength and weakness. This information can be leveraged by a student to choose a suitable career path for himself. There are various tools available in the market to track these things, but with our project, we are aiming to achieve all these things under a single roof. So, this is the landing page of our application. As you can see, the design is very intuitive so that the students will be interested to use our website. And we have both login and sign up option. Once the user clicks on the sign up option, he or she will get username, email address, password, class standard, and top three subjects to enter. These top three subjects are three subjects selected by the student which they are interested in. For now, we have kept it as mathematics, physics, and chemistry. Once the user submits the sign up, the student can log into our application. This is the login model, and once the student logs in, we will be showing the dashboard page of our application. The dashboard contains three tiles. First is the questionnaire tile, second is the attendance lifestyle, and third is the extracurricular. In the questionnaire, we will have two sections. First will be the basic test section, and second will be the advanced test section. In the basic test, we will have some general question which are very basic of low complexity. So once the user or students take the basic test, based on the scores that they have received, we will give the advanced questionnaire based on that score. So once the student clicks on take test, we will be taking the student to the summary page where we have all the basic questions listed. So as you can see, if the student go to the question, then he will be shown the question along with the multiple choices. For example, this question, when did India get independence? It's a very general question for an Indian student. So once the user selects the answer and clicks on submit, we will be recording the answer in our database, and which we will use to score the test. So similarly, you can answer all the questions. Now coming back to the dashboard page, we have attendance and lifestyle tile. In the attendance, we know that students' attendance is very much affected by a student's lifestyle. So we will try to show the relation between students' lifestyle and attendance. In the attendance, we will show how many days student is absent and what is the reason behind his absence, whether he is sick or he had some other work. And in the lifestyle section, we will have four categories of lifestyle. First will be whether the student is having healthy food. Second, whether the student is exercising regularly, whether the student is having proper sleep every day, and whether the student is having meditation. So these four things can contribute to a healthy lifestyle of a student, and this data can be entered by the student, and we will give scores based on these data entered, which will be used in our final summary page. So next, coming to extracurricular. In extracurricular also we have four categories. So extracurricular can be the student is interested in sports, or he is interested in social cause, he is interested in various creativity activities like in arts, and also it can be science. So if it is social cause, then we will have, like, if the student is actively involved in any charity, or any NGOs, or anything like Red Cross or NCC or Scouts or Kites, as we have in our Indian schools. So we will be giving scores based on the categories mentioned, predefined categories. So similarly, in the sports section, we can have what all kind of sports the student is interested in, and how much time he is giving to each sports, and how well he is doing at the sports, or if he is winning any competition, or what is his performance level in those sports. Similarly, in arts section, we can have the student's creativity can be judged by how well he is performing in music, or debates, or essay writing, or theater, or dance, anything. And we will have an algorithm which can decide how much score we should give to each activities. Similarly, in the science section also, the student can be interested in any research activities in his curriculum, or in science fair, or anything related to science. So all this data collected from these three tiles, from the basic and advanced questionnaire, from the attendance lifestyle tab, or from the extracurricular tab, we will be collecting all this data, and we will use an advanced learning algorithm to summarize the students' overall reaction or interest towards various activities, such as how well he is performing in studies, or how well he is performing in extracurricular activities. So these things can help in evaluate students performance. And we can also relate how the lifestyle is affecting the attendance of a student, and in turn affecting the students overall performance. And also, this is a progressive mechanism that we want to achieve, where the student can reevaluate himself. Suppose in the end, student saw that this is his progress from the summary chart, then he can go back to the questionnaire section and take some additional test, or he can go to the extracurricular section and add some extracurricular activities that he has done, and then he can come back to the summary page, where he can see how it has improved his performance summary. So in that way, the student will be motivated, and also he will know how these things are helping him to perform better. So we will have some algorithm where we can where, based on some formulas, we will decide how much each category should be contributed towards the in the summary page. So in the summary page, we will have some pie charts or bar charts showing the students' performance. Now coming to the DB design of our application. So users is the master table which keeps user roll number and user password, and this user info tables contain the information about a student. These all attributes that we are seeing are there in the sign up page, like what is the username, what standard the user is in, what three interested subjects that he has taken. That also is saved in the user info table, and the user roll number is the key that maps the users table to user info table, and as well other three tables uh, which other three tables. The first one is student exam summary. So this table is responsible to store the scores of student in various subjects. So this will contain user roll number to map it to the users table, and also it will contain the subjects. Based on the number of subjects, we'll have multiple entries, and each subject will have corresponding score entry in this table. So secondly, coming to student attendance summary, this table will contain the information about students' absence in the class. So we will be storing the data like when the student was absent and what was the reason of absence. And in the third table, that is the student life cycle summary, lifestyle summary, there we will be maintaining score for these four activities that we have mentioned for the lifestyle. The first one will be the exercise score, second one will be the healthy meal score, third one will be the sleep score, and fourth one will be the meditation score. This is the table design for the extracurricular section. As I told you, we will have four categories in this: social cause, sports, arts, and science. In the social and in all the tables, user roll number will be the primary key, which will be mapped to the users table, and the social and in each table, the attributes will be unique. Suppose in sports table, I want to keep the data as how much time the student is spending for the extracurricular activity for sports, and also how much which competition he is winning. So these things will be unique to each table. Like in social cause, we can have what type of social cause the student is doing. Like suppose he is doing some charity or doing some NGO work or something, and how actively he is involved, whether he has achieved something or not. Similarly, in arts and science section also, we will store the data as per our requirement. This is the table design for the exam section. This has subjects table and questions table. Subjects table contains how many subjects we are supporting in our platform. So it will contain subject type and subject name, and through the subject type we are mapping the questions table. And in questions table we will have the questions along with subject type and name, and what is the complexity. Based on this complexity, based on this complexity, we will be deciding to which standard student we should give what questions. So our UI is developed using React.js, and we are using Node to connect to our DB and doing our REST calls. Our DB is MySQL, and for the backend logic, we will be using Python. Currently, the UI is in place, and we also have our backend ready for login and register, but that has not been integrated yet. So for the login and register, I will be showing our REST calls through Postman and how it's working. I'll explain. Okay, so the first action in our application will be registering the user. For registering the user, the mandatory data that we need is a roll number, password, username, standard, and three subjects. So these data I have given in the body, and once I click on send, it gave me the response as okay. That means the user has been created. Now if we go to user info URL and get try to get the user by using this roll number, then I should get the user data from this. So this is the data that I have created, and the same data I got it back. So the next operation can be, now the user has been created and we know that the user exists in the DB, so we can use this data to log in into our application. So for login we need roll number and password. So with this we can do login. This will be a good call, and the server is returning the response okay. That means we are able to log in into our application. Now the next operation that we can do is deleting the user. So we have the roll number with us, and if I try to delete the user, it says okay, that means the user has been successfully deleted. So now if I want to fetch the same user with the same roll number, I should not be able to get the same user. So I did send and I did not get any response. That means the user has been successfully deleted. So these are the things that we have covered with this first milestone. So now the pending things are, we have to implement our attendance and lifestyle tab tile, and also the extracurricular tile. And once that is done, then we can go in development of our user of our final summary page. And also we have to create some surveys to get the questions for basic test and advanced test. So this is for this is for the first milestone. Thank you.